Hello people on Facebook and beyond, my name is John and you are watching Off the Record. If you are tuned in earlier, we are so sorry about the technical issue, but for those of you that are joining us again this time round, Off the Record is our weekly live show happening during Phase 2 Heightened Alert, happening every Saturday at 8 p.m. where we invite our guests to answer questions about COVID-19 and any other concerns that you might have. Just to cut short the intro, okay, I want to introduce you all to what's happening today, right? Before we go any further, okay, thank you for sticking with us through the technical issue just now. If you enjoyed this video, do give us a like and to share the link on our show on social media and with your friends. Okay. On today's episode, we're excited to have not one but two guests, one of whom you have actually might have seen her earlier. Her name is Charlene, and she's a hawker, meaning she took over a business from her family selling Nasi Lemak at Bersih Food Centre. She'll tell you a lot more about that later. Okay. Just to make sure everyone is on the same page, what I have here is a list of questions that we will be answering for y'all. We actually collected this from the public earlier, and of course, there'll be live questions incoming. So leave your comments. And you will notice the box on the bottom right of your screen. What we're trying to do is to use our platform to share hawkers who require your business during this tough period of the pandemic. So we encourage you all to follow the instructions below, share a photo, share the directions, and give some of these hawkers traction. Okay, so Charlene, thank you so much for being with us. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you do and yeah.
Yep. So basically, I'm a hawker at Jalan Besar. So I run a Nasi Lemak store at Bersih Food Centre. So it started 3 years ago when my father retired and he decided to have something to do.
Yeah.
So he started this store, and at that point of time I just graduated. Then he asked me to help him. So about 4 months into the business, so I find that it's quite interesting being a hawker. And then I do really think that someone have to pick up the trade.
Interesting.
So I give myself a year. Then my father said that in case that if the business picked up, he might not be able to handle.
Yeah.
So I give myself a year, see what I can accomplish, and then so here we are now.
It's been how many years?
It's been 3 years.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so you talk about Nasi Lemak store, right? I've always been curious. Is your Nasi Lemak store like the Nasi Padang, you can pick different ingredients kind, or is it like the set kind? What's the best selling dish?
Okay, so I actually picked up 4 popular sets. So there's A, B, C, D So basically cutlet with otah or achar, or chicken wing with otah or achar.
Yeah.
So these are my most popular one. But of course, you also can pick your a la carte version. So you can choose what you want.
Interesting. Yeah. So what's it like what's your daily schedule like? Maybe I'm just curious as a hawker.
Okay, so we actually start operating at 10 to 3. So sometimes if a little bit earlier for some delivery or what, we might open at 9 or 9:30. Yeah. So usually we'll end later than that because we have prep works to do and all. And we also start earlier than that to open up the store. So my father and I will take turn. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So you mentioned you've been a hawker for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
You don't mind me asking how old are you this year?
I'm 25.
25?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Next question that I have for you. Do you use any food delivery apps?
No, I use, but my store we are not on any of the delivery platforms.
Right, may I ask why or why not?
So initially they are taking about 33% of the revenue, and honestly for my store itself, right, if you take 33% out, I'm actually not earning So we decided to do our own delivery. So we actually do island-wide delivery by ourselves. So it's $4.50. Yeah, $4.50.
So your store is like the kind people call or WhatsApp you, then
yes, then we will arrange a delivery ourselves. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so maybe we just want to discuss a little bit from your hawker standpoint, besides talking about the cost, right? What do you think are some of the benefits of delivery? Is it things like safety, for example, in times of pandemic?
Yes, I agree. Because sometimes when we actually do have peak hour, so we do have quite a few customer in front, but we will make sure that they keep a distance, or I'll tell them maybe you can move away, then I'll give you a timing to come back. Maybe 5 minutes later you can come back. However, for my store still alright because Nasi Lemak things are already prepared, so you just gap, then you pack it up. So they maybe stand there for the maximum 2 minutes or 5 minutes is still fine. But for stores that are like maybe cook on the spot, might be a bit of a issue lah about crowding.
Because that one will result in longer waiting times also. Interesting. Okay, so I also read in the news, right? There are some schemes that the government has sort of like set up for the hawkers. I'm pretty sure this one you're aware of it, right? So maybe you want to share, how have these schemes like impacted you?
Okay. So let's talk about the rental relief.
Yes.
So I think it is a very great help lah, especially for the older generation hawkers, because they really don't know what to do during this period. Like especially those that are not people who usually wouldn't choose to dabao, like soup, noodles, all this. So that is one of the biggest problem they are facing is if I open. In order to cover the rental, I also make a loss because I have to throw my things. I need to pay for my electricity bill.
Correct.
Then also waste my effort. But if let's say I don't open, I also have to pay for the rental. So it doesn't make sense for them.
Correct.
And it's really like there's nowhere, they cannot resolve this issue until the rental waiver came in. And they'll be like, oh, okay, lucky. At least I can take this as like a short break. Because they don't have to be worried about like how to pay the rental.
Correct.
So for now, you just need to pay about like 100 to 200 each for the service conservation charge and also the maintenance fee. That's all.
Interesting. Okay. Well, because now that you mentioned it, in times like with no dining in, it truly just becomes a liability, right? Because it's not, you cannot run your business. Interesting. Okay. So this all is more applicable, especially during phase 2 heightened alert. Next question that we have for you, which actually is, I think it's contributed by the audience, right? Do you use any like digital payments for your store?
Yeah, we do. We use a QR code that like they can actually pay in advance, or we can do contactless payment.
Right. Okay. And there's this thing that my producers have told me. Have you heard of this thing called the Hawkers Go Digital Program?
I think I recall it was like back in Circuit Breaker they rolled out, right? So they gave out about $300. Was it like a rebate for hawkers that enroll themselves into this digital payment? Oh,
interesting. Because generally this is something that our general audience will not have heard of. But actually the government has like schemes called like the Go Digital Program, which will help hawkers out in terms of trying to adopt contactless because contactless was one way, right? Okay, next question that I have for you, which I think is very relevant to the pandemic especially, right? So any regrets taking over the store, especially in the last 1 year with CB and phase 2 heightened alert?
No regret. Because I actually learned a lot, like how you handle issues like this, like sudden issue that you would never thought that it would happen. So it comes to like adaptability. So it's also the first time we actually handled the delivery platform by itself. I mean, not platform. I mean, my own delivery. During phase 1, we actually encounter quite a number of issues. So when we do our delivery, we realized that let's say customer pay about like $5 for your delivery, but you employ the delivery drivers that are charging like 8 or 10 to even like $18 per location. So at the end of the day, you're like, I have a lot of orders, but why am I not earning? So this is not the only issue that I'm facing, because some of the more older generation, they actually try to do their own delivery as well. So I heard from them is that in the end, they don't understand why they are still making losses from it. Then realize that actually because that you are paying the delivery driver more than what you earn. But there's no wrong to it, because the delivery driver deserves to be paid fairly as well. So how do we actually find the balance and all? We need to like either really teach them like how to manage this, or like they can join the delivery platform, but hopefully they can give a smaller commission based on like the older generation hawker lah.
Okay, so we actually have a question from the audience this time, right? Thank you, Doreen, for asking this question. Is there any other way we can help our hawkers now besides going over to dabao?
Okay. Not too sure, because right now I have no no one have actually told me about like how can help, but for what I can think of right now is that we do have this Facebook called Hawker United. I'm inside as well.
Yeah.
What actually some people do is that they will post their contact number of the store, the hawker, and then what they can do, they can pre-order through them. So for example, I'm a regular customer of this like older generation hawker. So I will just tell uncle, uncle, 你懂我觉得你的食物很好吃。你有没有孩子会用电话的？you know that kind.
Then you take their phone number.
Yes, then you just like 我可以问一下 like 你要不要 take pre-order 或者 delivery you can help them. So they can liaise with their kids, so their kids can help them handle. And so far I've been seeing that it has been quite a good thing, like good response. Because I see like comments and people like, how do I order and all on those kind of so I guess you guys can spread the word or like maybe go down and have a chat with the uncles and see whether they need the help.
Because this is actually something my parents mentioned to me before, that if you take the contact number, you're able to order from them directly. And actually today on our platform, you're able to do that. So what I suggest that we can do right now is to help our hawkers out. You see the box at the bottom right of your screen. Go and include the contact number and maybe a picture and the address of the hawkers that you would like our audience to support. And we wholeheartedly thank you for that. Okay? Now, we got a next question for you, which is, this one I think it's a little bit more current and you can tell your story especially, or if you know anyone else, right? What happened when the news hit you that you had to close on short notice due to phase 2 heightened alert?
Sorry,
so tell us what happened, right? When the news hit you that you need to close on short notice because no dining in. It was like 2 days worth of notice essentially.
Okay, so it was quite funny how I actually learned about the news. I was working at a hawker store as like normal. Then suddenly my customer texts me, he's like, hey, I might need to cancel my order for that Saturday or something. Like for that Sunday because of the new news. Then they send me the link. Then I was like, oh, okay, can, like no problem, because it was for a party of like I think 7 or 6.
Right.
So it's like
cannot.
They limit already. So they say sorry about that. Then they say they are willing to do some compensations. Like it's okay lah. So during that period, I was a bit shocked. Like, oh shit, no dine in. Then I think I'm more concerned about the stores, the surrounding stores. Because during Circuit Breaker, right, they are more affected. They are not on delivery, and I believe at that time, Bersih Food Centre, 80% of the stores weren't open. It was quite bad.
Well, that was quite tough.
So they just merely got like recovered this phase 3. Then suddenly phase 2, back to phase 2.2. So I was like, uncle 怎么办? I was like 菜饭 uncle. Then 菜饭 was like, huh? 他们又没有 dine in ah? Then he a bit shocked also lah. Then they were like, then he asked whether got any rental relief or anything this time round. I was like, not too sure.
And then after that, when the news came, it was a sign of relief for everyone.
So for us, is we are quite we are shocked, but we know what to do because of the Circuit Breaker. During that period, we actually adapt ourselves to like doing deliveries and taking pre-orders and self-collect. So our customers just know where to text, where to order. So they will just
That's great, especially the regulars, right? They'll switch into the
they just switch to that mode already.
Nice. Okay.
Automatically.
All right. Okay, I got a follow-up question for you. Okay, and you know, it has been raised in the news many times, right? That the government has support schemes for hawkers, right? Including things like the job support scheme and the rental waiver and things like that, right? I think you shared a little bit earlier about how these schemes were helpful for you. But for someone on the ground like you, are there any other realistic suggestions that you have, you know, that in terms of whether the people or the government are able to help you and hawkers out?
For this period or just like in general?
In general, especially during the pandemic. Okay, let's focus on this period instead.
So this period, I think most importantly, right, I believe is that like keeping the older generation soccer alive. So they've been working so hard, like for so long, providing us with like really good and affordable food. I believe that like this period we should really focus on them as well. So like for example, GrabFood and Foodpanda, I believe that they are actually rolling up something this month. I heard from one of my friends is that they are doing something like they will come down to the store and help the hawkers to apply to be enrolled in their platform for this month with no commission. That's what I heard. So just hoping that maybe they will allow the older generation to be able to enroll to them, and maybe commission wise try to let them like be able to have quite a good a buffer or good fee lah. Not like 33%, that's a bit too much, you know. Sometimes they only charge $3 for like a bowl of like beef noodle soup, that kind of thing. So so I believe GrabFood or Foodpanda is a good choice, and then maybe have someone to teach them how to use all this platform, because honestly I think it's quite a bit of issue. They will be
I mean, it's definitely a struggle for the elderly.
Because sometimes you go there, right, you just teach them, the next moment they will forget already. So maybe can have someone that can station at a hawker. Like be there like uncle 你要按这个按这个, or we can go roll back with like YQ. There's this app YQ as well. That people can just order verbally and pass them cash, also easier.
Oh, actually that's a pretty good suggestion over there, which I think is something that not only we as a citizen, you know, as a country, we can try to work together to provide, especially for elderly hawkers, to have someone who is like a tutor in terms of how to do delivery. Perfect. Okay, we actually have a few contributions from our audience right now. Seok Tin mentioned just a kind message for hawkers. Certainly not easy for hawkers now during the pandemic. Jia Yu, Charlene, and hawkers out there. Shout out to you, Seok Tin, and thank you so much. Okay, so everyone who is here today, I truly encourage you to comment and to share also where your favorite hawkers are, so that we have a chance to be able to help them, especially during phase 2. Following that, we have questions from the audience. His name is Melvin. He say, is your hawker center very different now during phase 2 heightened alert? He's talking about comparing to CB versus phase 3 versus now.
Okay, so during Circuit Breaker, so I believe phase 2, you might think that is better than phase 1 Circuit Breaker, but actually for my hawker is the same. So majority of stores are closed because they couldn't make any revenue out of it. And also we actually do have like, I believe 2 or 3 stores leaving Bersih Food Center this time around, because I think they merely just maybe recover their losses and then it strike again. So I think they decided to just call it quits. So it's quite disheartening to see all this. So we really encourage you guys to help dapao from them, or maybe try to help them with a ordering.
Actually, I think I realized one of the things in the news that was also mentioned, that they try to help out hawker centers besides just helping hawkers, will be that like there will be like full subsidies of fees for table cleaning and dishwashing services which are managed by NEA, and there are some ways that they try to alleviate certain costs for the hawkers Interesting. Okay, so I got a next question for you, right? And that would be, what advice do you have for those who want to start their own hawker stores, as many young people now seem to find it daunting?
It's actually kind of accomplishing when you start your own store. Being a hawker, good thing is that being a hawker, honestly, your startup cost is a lot lesser than you open your own shop or anything. You have because you have a store ready to move in with all the exhaust pipe and everything set up for you. And maintenance wise, and also we have all the cleaners already employed there. So this issue, you could just like rest your mind. You just focus on preparing really good food. However, like I won't discount the effort and the hard work, because you really have to get down and dirty with like the cooking, the washing, you know, and then like honestly, the money, you don't really see it for the first few years. Like it's very hard to build the foundation, and also you can't sell expensive, so your profit margin is not there. However, it's always a very fulfilling thing, because your food, you start serving affordable and good food, you really get like people who appreciates you. I do have like customers coming like this period of time, they will like give coffee or like nice. It's very nice. Like they will give tips even to my delivery driver or to us, and be like, you know what, like take care. And then it's all this very heartwarming thing that we see every day that keep us going. And then at the end of the day, you see your branding up, be like people say, this last lemak is good at this area, and I heard very good feedbacks, and my friend showed me. I tell you, it's really, really super rewarding. Nice.
All right. Okay, we actually have a question that came in from the comments, right? Tristan asks, does it help your hawkers, right, if we bring our own containers?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I was very happy that I see a lot of people now, they actually bring their own containers. Because one thing is that styrofoam are actually running styrofoam or containers wise, right? Also running very low on our supplier side, and then prices are not cheap either. But we also decided not to charge because you also come all the way down and embrace the pandemic and just like come to my store. So we just like but also global warming. So I guess being green is good.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
man.
it's always good.
Wow, interesting that you're. I realize if I were a hawker, it would be a little bit difficult, especially to think whether I should order my next batch of styrofoam containers because how things are right now, right?
Yeah, and then I see the amount of styrofoam like we use a bit like wow, how global warming coming in. Like all the turtles and all is gonna haunt me.
Okay, I do have a personal question that I've always been curious about because this was something that popped in my head when I was thinking about phase 2 heightened alert. So like for hawkers, right, you all deal with fresh ingredients. So with no dining in, right, and then the news coming suddenly, what happens to the fresh ingredients? How do you all manage that? Because you all will have probably ordered already.
Yes. So okay, again for us, because we had delivery orders, so we are actually quite okay. But for some of the other stores, they will freeze it or they'll throw it away.
Oh my goodness.
Or they'll cancel their whatever is upcoming.
That's not good. That's another avenue of loss, right?
Yes, that's right.
Oh dear, that's not too good. All right, okay. Well, actually moving on to one of our last few questions that we have for you. So I think this one will want you to elaborate a little bit more, and if you're able to share what's from the ground, it'd be great. And the question is, right, what else can Singaporeans do to help hawkers out?
I believe sharing is also caring. So really share your favorite hawker stores, introduce to your friend. When dapao that time, maybe y'all can, try to do pre-order or self-collection to help them with the crowd control. And also, because, so they can time, how many people to collect at this timing, that kind of thing.
Correct.
Yes. If you can, go to your favorite hawker stores, if you know that they are actually struggling to be online, or anything, can actually try to liaise with them and help them out. So we have numerous groups and platforms, like maybe Where to Dapao, is it? You guys can try to enroll them into these platforms or share their stores on this. So that people will know about the existence of their stores and maybe go down and tap out also.
And of course, queuing up, maintain safe distance.
Yes, please.
Don't just all crowd towards
because
the
not just you guys, we are scared too.
All right. Thank you so much, Charlene. And that is all the questions we have for today. Okay, so before we move on to our next guest, I want to thank all of you, who are joining us and tuning in today. We truly appreciate you being with us here tonight. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, right, welcome to the show. Do remember to give us a like and to share the video with your friends and family. Tonight, we continue to have the conversation on how we can help our hawkers who are one of the hardest hit during this pandemic and, of course, during phase 2 heightened alert, right? I would like to also invite you all to continue to keep the hawker recommendations coming, and we will do our best to show all your suggestions on the screen in the box at the bottom right. And after the show, right, you can actually still refer to the website and get the full list of hawker recommendations, that you guys, the audience, have actually introduced. During this time of pandemic, it is imperative that we come together and help each other out, especially our hawkers and our elderly hawkers. And this is something that will be coming up with our next guest. Next guest, we are bringing on, someone who has been using social media to help the hawkers in our time of need. She runs an Instagram page called Where to Dapao, which is also coincidentally the inspiration for the hashtag that we are using today. And in fact, to help her cause out, my producer and I have been sharing some of her recommendations on the square below. So do check those elderly hawkers out in the box below also. So who I have with me today is Jocelyn. Thank you so much for being with us, Jocelyn.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, okay. So, to help people who are watching now, right, maybe help them understand a little bit better about what you do. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I'm Jocelyn. I'm 24 this year. I'm a social media executive. So currently right now, I'm also managing the Where to Dapao Instagram account.
Yes.
Whereby we share these elderly hawker stories so that we can garner more support from the public to go down to support these elderly hawkers. Yeah, so that they won't close down during this pandemic.
Yeah, especially during phase 2
exactly.
which came really suddenly,
Yeah.
right? So, like, when did you start this Where to Dabao initiative?
I think I started it on the last week of May. It was really very impromptu because I was just looking through Instagram, right? Then one of my friend posted a story. I think it was 8 days or mothership. So the article was saying the illiterate elderlies are unable to have their business affected very badly because they are not technologically advanced to onboard these kind of delivery platforms.
Right.
So then I just texted my sister. I was like, okay, let's just go out to this hawker center and we just chit chat with them and we will write. we will take pictures with them and then we will write their personal stories and then just post it out on Instagram.
I see.
Because, and someone like I'm not an influencer or anything, right? So when I start this new account, I'm like, okay, how am I going to get it out? So that night I PM'd all of my friends on WhatsApp and I say, okay, I just started this account. Can you help me to follow and share around with all of your friends? So that night, with the help of my friends and my 2 elder sisters and their friends as well, I think we garnered around 200 plus followers.
Wow.
Yeah. Then after that, I texted one of my friends. Then I said like, wow, hope I can reach 1,000 followers in a week.
Yeah.
But then I... the next day, then it was like 2,000 plus followers.
Yeah.
So it was really very crazy.
Yeah, y'all really blew up on Instagram a little bit. Right now, you have tens of thousands of followers, right?
Yeah, it's very crazy.
Yeah, which is great because it goes to show that Singaporeans do have a heart and we're all trying to help out our elderly. Especially, we taste the good food, but we see that they're in times of need right now.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe we want to share a little bit more about the reasoning that got you started on this. Did you actually know some of these hawkers personally, or?
No, I never knew any of these elderly hawkers. I think I only knew one of the elderly hawkers. It is, I think, the third post that I posted is from Maxwell. So she sells the in, I don't know what dialect this is, but it's called ham jin peng.
Ham jin peng. Okay.
Yeah, the fried dough lah.
Yeah.
So the rest, I don't know who. I never frequent their stalls before.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to share their stories lah, because I felt that if I were to share their personal stories and the struggles that they are facing now, I think people can sympathize with them and then they will go down to support them as well.
Interesting. So this basically was something that you and your 2 sisters sort of like resonated with and decided to do lah.
Yeah, so I think growing up, right, we always had a soft spot for elderly because we are very close to our grandmother. So and my second sister called Jasmine, she's a social worker. So she likes to help other people also lah. So we came up with this idea and my elder sister called Jacqueline, she will go out with me to interview these elderly hawkers.
Yes.
Because of the the 3 of us can't go out together because of the 2 packs restriction. Yeah,
which is kind of unfortunate because there's just the 3 of you, right?
So me and Jacqueline will go out to interview them. Then come back. I will edit the pictures and curate the post, and then I'll post it out. Then Jasmine will reply the DMs lah.
Very cool. Very cool. So besides following your platform, right, what are some ways that like people, Singaporeans, right, can help the elderly hawkers?
I think they can go down to support these elderly hawkers, and maybe when they are like buying, like for example bihun, they can add just something extra, like maybe fish cake or something, because if everybody like just buys a little bit extra, in the end it's quite a lot for them as well. So I think they can also buy from these drink stalls, auntie and uncles, because every time when I go down to these hawker centers, right, I realize that there may be 1 or 2 people in these other stalls like selling food, but there's no one at the drink stalls, auntie and uncle, because like if you want to buy like Coke or whatever, right, you can just buy from 7-Eleven or something. You don't necessarily have to go all the way down to the hawker center. So I think even if they were to onboard these kind of delivery platforms, right, it will be also a bit tougher on them lah.
Right, so these are the sort of like hawkers that don't necessarily, even if they know how to do delivery, it doesn't necessarily benefit them.
Yeah, because when I ask these hawkers whether they are on any delivery platforms, and they say no, usually it's one of two reasons. Is either because they have to pay commissions to these delivery platforms, and with their business already halved, so they don't want to incur more cost. And secondly, it's also because they are not technologically skilled.
Okay. Then our next question is a question that's regarding where to dabao, right? What were some of the challenges that you faced when you started where to dabao?
Oh, challenges. I would say the communication barrier. Because my Chinese is not really very good.
So how will you usually begin?
I would say, hello auntie or uncle. Then 我可以 interview 你一下吗？ Then 我开了这个 Instagram account 啊 Then 有 I don't even know how to say 30,000 So I say 有 30,000 followers. Then usually they would get it lah. But just yesterday only, I talked to this elderly woman who was selling vegetarian food at Chinatown. Then the moment I said that, then she's like, 不要跟我讲英语，我听不懂。Then I was like, okay, they're trying to recall all of my Chinese lessons, how to say, right? But luckily, her nephew came back. Then he was like, hello? Then I was like, English? English. Okay, so we talk in English lah. So I think the communication barrier was a little bit of a problem.
Yes.
And because now I open the submissions to the public, not a lot lah. Some of them would text me saying that can we not talk to the hawkers because they are kind of scared and all. But then I think because we pride ourselves in sharing the stories of these elderly hawkers. So without the stories, right,
it's
it
a
might
bit hard.
Yeah, so that's just about it lah. But
I see.
Other than that, maybe it will be the time issue as well because this is not my full-time job. This is just what I'm doing on the side.
Interesting.
So currently right now I have a 10 to 6 job. So there isn't much time for me to go out anymore. I can only find the little pockets of time, which is maybe during lunchtime. I go to a nearby hawker and then I interview 1 or 2 hawkers. Then after that, after work at 6 p.m, then I will write and edit the post as well.
Right. Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah.
Well, I have to give you kudos for that. Like using your free time to. I mean, not many people have the heart to do that. That's pretty good. And like that's why we're appealing to you all to help out because submissions are of course open to public. We have a question from the audience. This is by Ismi Raudatu. Right? She asks, how did the hawkers respond to your initiative? Did you face any resistance?
Most of them do not have any resistance to it, or except 2. So one of them was just because I think she was really tired and she didn't want to be interviewed. So then we left her alone. The other one, he was already on board delivery platforms. I see. And his business was already doing quite well. So he said that he did not need to be featured. And the Chinatown uncle, the Smith Street. I think now there's a lot of articles about him. The honeycomb cake.
Right. Oh, yes.
That one. So yesterday we purposely went down and then we wanted to interview him, but then he said like, don't want. Yeah. So okay lah, never mind lah. Yeah. Because now currently, from the public submissions, right, we have around 150. Right. So there's a lot for us to post as well.
Is it because they're afraid of publicity or afraid of cameras or being in the public eye? Do you know what's the reason? Do anyone of them tell you?
Sometimes they say is because currently right now they buy less ingredients, so they don't really make that much. Then if you suddenly post, right, then a lot of people come. They might not be able to cope with the orders as well.
Interesting. That's actually a rather unique problem that I never thought. Okay. Next question that I have for you, right? So how long do you intend to keep doing Where to Dabao?
Okay, I want to do it for as long as I can because I feel like now Where to Dabao, right, has become a platform for people to come on and to see what elderly hawkers they can support. And plus all the user submissions that are coming in, right? I can't possibly just say, I'm tired already, I want to stop. And then I'm also collaborating with a few other companies, for example, like delivery drivers and all. So sometimes it can honestly get quite daunting because I never expected it to like explode to this extent, right?
Yeah.
So like even talking to the media or doing collaborations, but the fact that my channel has become a platform for this, and I am shouldering on more responsibilities. Yeah. So I feel like actually it's very, very meaningful that I am actually able to help them, because that was my initial thought when I started this page. Yeah.
Well, do you ever feel tired then? Because you know you're using your free time, right?
Yeah. Sure, I'll feel tired, but in the end, it's all for a good cause. So I think, like, it's worth it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, all of you that are tuning in, just to remind you, she runs an Instagram page called Where to Tapao, which coincidentally is also the hashtag Where to Tapao for you all to contribute to the little square at the bottom below. Okay, we got a question coming in from the audience, and this is from Doreen. Doreen asks, besides your current Where to Tapao initiative, bracket, great job by the way, right? Do you have other ideas to help support our elderly hawkers?
Currently, I don't have any ideas yet, because I don't have much time to think about that yet. Yeah. So.
But other ideas are welcome. Right? Other ideas are welcome. So if your audience, you're listening, and you got any creative idea, please help us out. All right, fantastic. Okay, next question. Right. Okay. Any experiences or stories, right, that you would like to share from your time spent talking to the hawkers?
I think when you talk to every of the hawkers, right, there's a unique story to them, and there's always a heartwarming story. Yeah. So there's this auntie who sells kueh at Maxwell. Yeah. So she sells a lot of different kinds of kueh. I think there's like at least 15 different kinds. Yeah. And then she was telling me that her business was halved, and because she wanted to sustain her hawker business, she had to sell off her car. And then because there's so many kuehs, right, she had to buy like 3 steamers. Yeah, so it was very labor intensive. Then we asked her like, why do you want to continue this? But then she said, because like if people try her kueh for the first time, and then they tell her that it's nice, so it's like encouragement for her. So she wants to keep being able to provide this kueh, for everyone. Then she also said that there was this 90-plus-year-old woman who always goes to a store every single day. So she said that then if I stop making this kueh, then that 90-plus-year-old woman out. Yeah, so she said that as long as that 90-plus-year-old woman keep coming, she'll keep making.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, then there's also others like this lady selling pao. Yeah. So she said that she will not reduce the number of pao that she is making. Yeah. So she's making the same number of pao as pre-COVID. But when it's like 4 p.m, right, and then there's still a lot of pao in a steamer, then she gets like quite sad also. So she will give this pao to the taxi drivers for free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to reduce wastage.
That is so nice. Wow, then what about, like, I mean, in terms of stories, like, I mean, now I don't mean to ask this question, but what are some of the more difficult stories to listen to?
More difficult? There wasn't like a very difficult one, but I guess like the most touching one would be this 78-year-old woman. So she is managing the store with her 72-year-old brother. So they will wake up every day like 6 a.m. all the way until late. Yeah. And she says that although this is tiring, right, but she can spend time with her younger brother. And she also has 8 other equally like old siblings. So there's 10 of them. Yes, and they are all relying on this store.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that
so
is tough.
Yeah.
My goodness. And what does she sell?
She sell, I think, the char siu fan. Char siu rice.
Char siu rice. Okay. Wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow, those are really interesting stuff, and that's why you all should continue to support our hawkers. Give us your comments and give us your suggestions in the box below. Okay. Next question I have from you, which is something that's contributed by the audience member. This is Melvin. Melvin says, do you have any encouraging or heartwarming stories from the hawkers?
Heartwarming stories?
Yeah.
Heartwarming stories, I guess, would just be they are trying to tide through this pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So that they are able to continue to support their family. So some of them have children who are still studying like in university.
Right.
Yeah. So they without this this stall, right, which is their main income, then they are unable to also fund their child's education. Yeah. So like when you hear all these kind of like difficulties that they have, it's actually, I would think that it's really quite sad lah.
Yeah. But like they're also still optimistic, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, because like I think this is something that will be able to the kind of positive attitude that they still have will be able to help them through this kind of difficult time. Okay, we do have a follow-up comment from an audience member just now. Okay, Praveen asks, okay, where to tapao? Why where to tapao and not where to tapao with a B?
Oh, that's just
Great
a
work, by the
spelling
way.
error.
Spelling error. So like tell us about that. How did that happen?
I don't know. So I always when I started the account, right?
Yeah.
So I just write PAO. Then after that, my friend just said, "Isn't it BAO?" And then I'm like, okay, shit. I can't like change it now because it's like a few thousand followers.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
But it probably still says great work, by the way. So I guess
you.
Okay, so I think we got another comment from the audience member, which is even though we have to stay home as much as possible, we can always show our support to these elderly hawkers because they are everywhere. Right? We don't have to travel far to support them. Right? What do you think about that?
Yeah, because at every estate, right, there's always a nearby hawker.
Yes.
Yeah, like for example, my estate, the nearest one is Adam Food Center.
Yeah.
So you can just go down and then get tapao something from there.
Yeah.
But you can also go to, I think just now Charlene also mentioned the YQ.
Yes.
Can, I think DBS. Yeah. So I've been collaborating with DBS. So tomorrow there is a 6/6 extra bonus day.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you go down to these hawker centers and then you use any of your DBS cards, including PayLah, you get 8% cashback. Yeah, and then they also partnered with YQ. So if you place your order through YQ and pay using PayLah, okay, then you can get free delivery, and then $1 will also go back to the hawkers.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you actually don't have to physically go down to these hawkers, because I get that now it's still the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Some people are still scared to go out. So you can actually order online as well lah.
Yeah, so I mean, you also will encourage to go and sort of like interact with these old people and try to find out their stories also lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're about to come to the end of our segment today, right? But before we end off, Jocelyn, I need to call you Charlene because you mentioned Charlene. Jocelyn, do you have any last words that you'd like to say to our audience?
I'd like to say thank you for the overwhelming support that you have shown to Where to Tapao, constantly helping me to share and increase awareness lah. So I think that it is really heartwarming for all of us to come together to help these elderly hawkers, because these elderly hawkers, they have spent decades or their whole life doing this hawker business.
Yeah.
So I think it's really quite a waste if they were to close down and our future generations won't be able to taste all these traditional hawker dishes because of this pandemic.
Fantastic. And that ends us off on a positive note. And that's all the time that we have today. Okay, that's right. We have come to the end of today's episode of Off the Record. Thank you so much, Jocelyn, and of course, Charlene behind camera, for being on the show with us. Okay, we hope we managed to address all your questions tonight. Remember to tune in every Saturday at 8 p.m. Thank you once again, ladies, for being here today, and thank you so much to our audience members for tuning in. Don't worry, the links below for the contributions that y'all have will be still live. Y'all can go there and take a screenshot of the entire page and get the suggestions that y'all have given. See you guys next week. Bye.